And a big warm welcome to everyone out there joining us on the live stream. This is a very special live event here on Cloud Forum that we like to have every now and then when we get some amazing guests and amazing news and exciting things happening out there. There's nothing better than getting it straight in real time. So thanks for joining us. This is Cloud Forum. We're a platform that are here to help bring, Web3, the creator economy, everything happening there as we move into this wonderful world of the metaverse and blockchain and the rest, and explore what the opportunities are, what's happening, who's out there, and the creators and the like. So today we have a really special guest. It is Rasmus Lindman, who is the CEO and founder of the Supernovas.App, the Supernovas platform, which we're about to go into a deep journey into with Rasmus, as they've got some exciting news, and it's very pivotal for the entire community with NFTs, creator economy, etc. So I'm genuinely super excited for this conversation. Now, before we jump in and bring on Rasmus into the conversation here, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. Everyone who's watching this live, you are part of this conversation. So Rasmus and I and Alex, we could talk for hours and hours on end, but we really want to make sure that we're getting your questions and comments and bringing them into the conversation as well. So to do that, just make sure you're on the YouTube channel with Cloud Forum and watching the live stream there, and throw your comments in, and we'll keep an eye on that. And if you're commenting on DeSo blockchain, I'll try and capture those as well. So with that all said, Rasmus, welcome to the wonderful world of Cloud Forum. How are you, my friend?
Thank you very much. I'm doing absolutely excellent. Exciting times ahead, so what's not to like?
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely. So we just had a few words before we jumped on, but for everyone out there, you're tuning in from Finland. That's correct, right? And you're actually in Finland now?
That's right. I'm tuning in from Helsinki, Finland, here in the northern hemisphere, almost. So yeah, that's right. That's where the majority of the team is based, and that's where we have got it started. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Like I was mentioning to you, and for the rest of the audience out there, I used to be a circus performer back in my old days, and living in Norway, in Oslo, and some of the south there. And one of the trapeze artists was from Finland, and I went there for their wedding. And I got to say, Rasmus, I got to see some of the crazy sides of Finland, and it was wild. You got some wild people over there.
Yeah, absolutely. We have this national reputation, especially related to the parties. So that's something I need to carry with me. But yeah, I feel yeah. No, Norway is a beautiful place. Also, absolutely.
It is indeed. But Rasmus, I think simply put, like the fact that you come from a place that has that kind of reputation, the Finnish are going to be warmly welcome into the degens of NFTs and all the rest. You know how to handle that crew.
Absolutely. We fit right in, definitely. I agree.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So now I just want to give a bit of a shout out to those who are tuning in live. So Rasmus, over on YouTube, we have Nordian tuning in. Nordian, we've got all the OGs here. We've got BitClout, Reinalf. Yes, Nordian and BitClout, Reinalf, who are joining in here, and they've both said happy birthday to Reinalf. So happy birthday, Reinalf. Awesome. I'm glad you're spending it with us.
Birthday.
Now, getting straight into the juiciness, Rasmus, let's start straight away by those who haven't come across you or haven't seen your work, because we're also extending out beyond just the DeSo blockchain. So we are here for the Web3 creator economy, etc. So we really want to, get this out there to those on, maybe they're using Ethereum or these other blockchains. And that really brings us to, this conversation around supernovas and what you're up to. So first of all, what's your elevator pitch for describing to someone what supernovas is?
Right. So I guess the short version would be that we are the social network for the NFT community, and the bigger vision there is to build de facto social network for anyone, but that's the real long-term stuff. So we're starting off with social marketplace with low gas fees and great meeting features to really enhance this. Enhance this community aspect of NFTs, but there's a long road ahead. But that's where we are going to get started. So social NFT marketplace would be the short and sweet version.
And I think that's such a key, right? Social NFT marketplace. And it's something that anyone who's been in the NFT world, I mean, it's a pretty, coming from outside, if you've got nothing to do with blockchain, nothing to do with NFTs, etc., getting in on NFTs, I mean, it's such a like, culture where, it's all happening on Discord and these kind of platforms people aren't used to and different things. And it is one thing that I've seen, absolutely, I'm sure everyone out there can say in their own ways, but community seems to be one of the most important things about NFT collections and their success and what's happening. And so that's, I think, why so many people are really excited about the announcements coming up of what you bring to the table, because absolutely creating a place where, you have a social platform that makes NFTs accessible to the everyday person is going to be game changing.
Yeah. Precisely. And if you now think about the sort of how the industry currently works, it's basically you have this triangle of OpenSea, Discord, and Twitter where everything happens, but you sort of lose quite a lot of like potential when you don't have these on the same platform where you have the wallet connected. Okay, now you can do it on Twitter, but like when you don't have the commerce happen on the same place, you sort of leave a lot of stuff on the table. So that's where we want to really kick in and start building the decentralized versions of both of these social aspects. So that's the cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting seeing when starting with BitClout and then the DeSo blockchain, the decentralized blockchain came out and really started cracking this open on a way never done before. And now it's quite interesting seeing it just, they were like the first movers, and all of a sudden, like you say, Twitter, everyone, we're kind of gone over that speed hump, it feels like, of, people that go, oh, blockchain, it's a fad, or, crypto, it's a fad. And I think we've moved over that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the like it still needs a lot of work, because the sort of consumer apps, the quality bar is set so high. So like everyone who is building on this DeSo right now, like it needs to be, the products that come out that really can move the needle needs to be so top notch that I think that's the sort of key next step here with the whole DeSo. That how do we build these kind of really quality ones? And I think we start to be in a point where there's like a lot of these now teed up, us included, of course, but like plenty of others as well. So
yeah. I mean, I think your most recent post on the DeSo blockchain anyway, and also on Twitter, I believe, the teaser that you did for the launch happening in 2 days on the 14th, that it was literally like most of the comments under there seemed to be all saying, this is how you do marketing, this is how it should look, and I think that's touching on exactly what you're saying, is people are recognizing that, what you're putting into that is that more commercial kind of, I mean, mainstream is such a, people look at it as a negative word, but it's like, it's just the mainstream, right? It's where most of the action's happening in the world. So to find, good quality like this and what you guys are bringing to the table, that is really exciting. Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, in the end, no one knows, right? No one knows. We can be so confident about anything. Absolutely. I think we're living in the most Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole kind of time on this planet that I've ever seen.
It's crazy.
Anything is possible.
Yes.
So let's just, before we go further into where it's going, let's take a moment to where it started and where you started. So, one of the first things I saw, in your work is you come from some pretty high tech places. I mean, you're no silly man when it comes to technology and where we're going. So, to share with the audience, what was it you were doing before you got involved in Supernovas and DeSo, etc., and further? Where did this journey kind of begin for you, and how did that lead you to the process of Supernovas? What was that adventure?
Right. So yeah, I have a background in this startup. So I've had my first I had my own on-demand delivery startup. Then worked for couple of years at Uber here in Finland and Nordics. I was in the sort of launch team here in Finland, and then after that worked in the sort of driver operation slash marketplace optimization in the Nordic region. So growing the product here. And then most recently, I was now head of business development in this kind of a quantum computing startup called IQM here in Finland. So I was their first business side hire and sort of started to build their product and sales and marketing, and then now made this very supernatural transition from this quantum computing to the Web3 world. But I think it was in the end like a complete no-brainer to me. Like the way we got here was that me and the co-founder Mikaela started to think about, or not actually not think about anything, but just started to play around with NFTs like roughly a year ago, and we got both super excited about it because it's we sort of like started to think about the sort of wider potential beyond what's happening currently. Like, okay, like it's mostly then and pretty much now still the market is mostly like art and the sort of collectible side, but the way I see it is that it's like it applies to any intellectual property that exists in the world ultimately. So
yeah.
So we started to think like, okay, like what are the current pain points of the market, and like what would be cool, what would we be interested in, and then we sort of landed that, okay, like these gas fees are a big problem, but like we want to solve that problem and make like a really good marketplace. But then at the same time we sort of didn't have the conviction about that to begin with. Like that's not like it solves some problem, but it doesn't create like anything crazy. And at the same time, we sort of found also the DSO, so the BitCloud application at the time, and I like, to be honest, like I got completely crazy about BitCloud at the time. Like I was flabbergasted that this is possible, that everyone has everyone has these social tokens, and you have all of these data on chain and stuff like that. I was like, I get really excited about that. And then we sort of realized that, okay, like let's combine both of these two. That let's combine an Ethereum NFT marketplace and a DSO node. So that's where we started off with. But then luckily DSO launched their own NFTs, and we got to start off with those, which was great. And basically in the beginning, like last fall, the goal was to we were both still working full time, and the goal was to sort of just put out something to like test how things work and stuff like that. But then we sort of got this after we did this kind of a small scale test. We sort of got really excited and really saw the potential. So then we started raising funding, raised a couple $100,000, like a pre-seed funding, and now basically more or less from January we have been now really working on this. So it's still like a very very early stages in that sense. So that's how we got here.
Fantastic. I mean, and congratulations on that effort with the fundraising. That's fantastic. And it's
Thank you.
because, like you say, Rasmus, I mean, it's one of those things, right? You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you don't have the resources, the time and the bandwidth to focus on it, it makes it pretty challenging to take that next step. And I think that's one of the things we're starting to see in the community and around is, more and more finding the funding, finding the place, taking responsibility to get it going themselves and just kicking into gear. And from that, I think hopefully we'll start seeing more of the quality at that next level coming through. So excellent. So Rasmus, with Supernovas, so we're looking, one of the things that always used to confuse me when we say apps. So, because there's a web app and then there's a mobile app, whereas I used to always just assume an app was on your mobile, etc. So it's gotten a little confusing out there for those that aren't used to that world. With Supernovas, are you looking at creating an app for that as well, or will it be web-based the whole way?
Right. So right now we are a web-based app, but we're definitely looking into making mobile apps for both iOS and Android. But it's gonna but that's a tricky one because you can sort of build like a really compelling app, but you sort of lose a lot of the really cool functionality because of the sort of restricted nature of the app store. So we're still a bit holding off on that and trying to make the web like as good as possible and sort of as close to possible as the quality on the sort of native application. Yeah, definitely we're looking into that because like most people like don't use web apps at all. Yeah, it turns out
Yeah.
who knew. So it's just so you sort of need to go there on mobile, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really interesting point you're bringing in because I mean it is one of those things, right? We're living in a world where people's attention spans are so short, and if it takes more than 2 clicks, it's like I might do it later, and we all know might do it later means you're not doing it. It's like you have every intention, but we all forget and get distracted, and so
Mm.
there is that kind of thing that we're moving through, but at the same time, you just bring up a good point that when we're competing with very Web 2 type focused mobile apps like, iOS, Apple, for example, who, then they're not designed to handle this kind of thing. So all of a
Mm.
sudden, it's like, the DeSo blockchain and all the others that are coming off the back are throwing a spanner in the works for them, aren't they? So I guess we're really going to have to be patient as a collective and I guess in a way it's going to come down to us proving the concept, proving that it's working, seeing more like, Meta and all these others start bringing it more into the mainstream so that they pay attention. And
Mm.
then they will have to adapt and have to find a way. So it's good that you have that intention and that you would like to. And it's also really great to understand why for those out there. Because I think a lot of people don't really realize that. And they get frustrated thinking, are these guys like, why don't they do it?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you're right on the money. Like it's just sort of needed, but it's very difficult at the moment. But I think we're seeing already this kind of early signs that Apple and Google Play Store, they're taking these steps towards NFTs and crypto, where they are maybe more lenient on what kind of transactions happen there. Like ultimately the real big hack would be to build own hardware and build applications there, but that's like crypto native platform. But that's a tough one, and it's not going to happen
Yeah.
overnight. But I'm sure a lot of people are now thinking about it, and there's a lot of I think there's a lot of activity also on that front in general.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's exciting times. And so for those that haven't checked out Supernovas, please do check it out. It's, you've done such an amazing job already, and this is just at the beginning of what you have. So what are some of the things that you're most proud about getting to the table so far on this journey of bringing Supernovas?
Right. So I think it's great that we're starting off with this kind of ultimate MVP where we have both DeSo NFTs and immutable X NFTs of Ethereum, so the Ethereum layer 2 on Monday out, and I think that's I'm really proud of that because those are both now like no, those are both now embedded in this sort of social context, and that gives you things like likes and diamonds and comments and reposts and stuff like that. So I think that's great. But what I'm really excited about is that we're going to be releasing this kind of a collection, one-click collection minting over the next weeks. So for DeSo and for Solana both. So people can mint big collections with unique items with no hassle, and I think that's going to be really interesting. And then also we're working on launching DeSo group chats. So making this kind of a really good Discord-like experience, which is then integrated to collections or profiles and later on DAOs. So I think that's gonna be really cool. And yeah, I mentioned DAOs, which is something we're doing as well, and I'm really excited about that. So there's already a lot of going on with DAO now, but we have sort of had very similar plans as them on that front. So bringing these native DeSo DAOs to the social context and treat them, I don't know, like maybe the Web2 equivalent would be as like a Facebook group. That's how I see it, with this kind of superpowers of having ability to raise funding and make decisions on an on-chain governance. So I think those are the ones that I'm really pumped about, that are now or the next week's putting out.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that group chat and how that evolves. And because one of the things, Rasmus, for me is, I did a lot of work with, I've got a business myself called Live Your Genius. And my work is essentially helping people to find, what is their genius? What is it they love, and find purpose in life? And we've got a really big community that kind of work with a certain system. And I remember talking to them about, what was it, probably 4 years ago, talking about decentralized governance. Back then I was working in politics here, trying to get this flux of decentralized politics forwards, and the problem was it was still clunky, it was still hard. It's like there wasn't a natural kind of flow into it, and for all that we would talk about it, it still needed too many central points of power within the organization that would lead to politics, that would lead to whatever. So we kind of just put it on hold and went a more traditional approach for now. And more as I see this with the DAO and with everything happening and how we can use NFTs, and as you say, one of the things that we've been missing is an alternative to Facebook groups, because that's what everyone uses at the moment, and most of us never want to be on there because it's one of the few that kind of provides something you can use. So if you can bring that kind of experience where people can now bring their communities to the chain. And because a lot of people are talking about, we need to bring more people, we need to get more users, etc. One of the things I've recognized is, well, if you get the tools and the things in place, I've got a massive community ready to come over looking for something. And that's only one of many. So it's pretty exciting to think that these tools are coming. So how long do you think until that's going to be fairly functional?
I think in a month or so we're going to be in a really good spot. So I completely agree with you. And one thing that people don't necessarily realize, that these kind of decentralized group chats where everything is really on chain, it's a really significant technological innovation. There is no good precedents that. So DeSo is doing something really unique on that front, and we're really looking forward to that, because it opens a lot of cool stuff with let's say one simple thing is just the access gating for it to happen on this sort of the same platform where your NFTs are and creator coins are connected. So that helps a lot. And there's a lot. It can basically be slammed onto anything, and it works nicely. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, fantastic. So now, with that being said, so if we haven't made it clear already and you're watching this, Supernovas, it's an amazing game-changing NFT platform that's rethinking the way things are being done using the DeSo, decentralized social blockchain, and the tools that are on there. But not just DeSo, right? You're also going cross-platform.
Yes, that's right. So just to give some context on that, the way we think about this crypto space right now is that the future is going to be this multi-chain future where a lot of cool stuff will happen on a lot of different chains for a lot of different reasons, and we don't think it's going to be one Ethereum or one Solana that is going to dominate, but it's all going to sort of work together in the future nicely, and that's the sort of premise, and so now right now we're launching with DeSo and Ethereum, but then they're going to put out Solana NFTs next, and with that we're basically have covered all the in my opinion all the really pressing ones, but obviously as these other chains start to get traction and we sort of course want to do more as well. But yeah, that's how we're gonna start get things going.
Yeah, fantastic. So correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, like I see this cross-platform thing. What got me so excited is, one of the challenges, when we go into new things and new technologies is, obviously you've been in enough startups, you're competing with others, and it can get very tribal sometimes, like my chain's the right chain, and it's like, that's a crap chain or that's a scam chain. And everyone gets in this kind of tribal warfare over which one's which. And, at the moment it can feel sometimes like you have to try and win people this way or that. Whereas once we start considering this idea of cross-chain, like what you're bringing to the table here, to me, I mean, how amazing is that you can now browse, whether it be Solana, Ethereum, or DeSo NFTs. It means you can now promote to the Solana community, and the DeSo NFTs will get exposure. The ETH, everyone will get exposure in their own ways. And now it's actually, what I love most about everything we're doing with DeSo and the decentralization process, etc., is, we're giving choices to people, right? Now it's your choice. We don't have to trick you through marketing or this or that or bribery through airdrops or this to come to our chain. We have to do it because we have to be good at what we do, right? And I think that's pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, to be honest, like going to be really interesting to see like what people end up actually using when they have a choice. I think that's still undecided, because like obviously Ethereum in terms of the like just the scale and the adoption and sort of the history and the current state, like it's the dominant one, and for a good reason. But at the same time, like for example, and also now Solana is really going to places, and they have a really very different approach, but a really good sort of layer one product. But like what I've realized like now is that like these are NFTs, even though they are basically, there's no awareness yet on those, but they're actually holding up really well when you compare it with just like raw feature set and the super low gas fees and so forth. So honestly, I'm really looking forward to see like how people will start using these, and for maybe different style chains are used for a bit different purposes, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll let the market decide how it works at the end. Yeah.
And just work with the response, right? The most organic way to keep growing.
Yeah.
And it's, I was just looking up on HTC Vive. So I've got a Vive Pro here in the house, and I'm doing homeschooling with my son now. He's 12 years old, and because I realized that he's moving pretty quick in directions that aren't really being nurtured in high schools here. And I thought, let me look into VR and homeschooling and education. And I looked in, and Rasmus, it was incredible seeing what's available now, like already, and seeing how mainstream it's becoming, like how many people are coming on board. But what really hit me was, HTC themselves promoting NFTs and the concept of the fact that, they're going to have their own marketplaces and things, and really talking about, more NFTs as clothing for your virtual world, or, different things like this. So it's really exciting to see this expansion not away from, but, including other things than just art, right? Where people have kind of traditionally seen it. And I think with this cross-platform, like what you're putting forward is a really interesting point that I haven't even thought about is, what is the difference between these blockchains, whether it be technical or cultural, and how's that going to lead to the way they're all used in different environments and for different purposes. So I think we got a lot of creative imagining to do ahead, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, like a lot of it is just like, as you said, this kind of a tribalism and which I think is in to an extent that's completely fine. Like we get attached to things that we use and have provided value to us. So like I don't blame people for like being like really liking Ethereum. Like the only problem is when people maybe go overboard a bit, and you have this like very maximalist sense. But yeah, and to touch on that, like a really interesting use case, by the way. Like I think I also I have to agree with that, because the way I see it, right now the market is just like, or the NFT market in general is just on a level where it should be given the current state of technology. Like, and what I mean by that is that like these art and collectibles are the really low hanging fruits, and it's easy to get started with those. But when you start, but in order to expand that, you need to first of all get the sort of transaction fees like almost gone, because otherwise the market don't start clearing with these lower cost items, and it sort of never becomes real. So I think that's going to be the driving force behind this kind of new kinds of use cases, in my opinion. So
yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. So I mean, before we go to the next part, which is what's to come next, just while we're talking about this, like what's your feelings on the current state of affairs, I guess both in blockchain and NFTs? And I mean, I guess we've kind of covered that already, but also more than anything on the DeSo blockchain, because as I'm sure you were there, we were all there in the early days with Wild West, and like yourself, I went a little bit crazy too and fell in love with the project. And but it was seeing the potential of what was there, and it did get a bad rap, because of different things, as things do, and the tribalism. Hey, that's part of protecting things when they're young, right? It's part of keeping it safe while it's growing. And so it feels like we're hitting new levels of maturity, but there's a bit of, at the moment, there's a bit of feedback coming from the community, about the core team and how they're handling things in different bits and pieces and things. And of course, that's a tricky conversation to have, because there's so many different elements that a lot of people wouldn't understand. So what's your perspective on the current state of affairs with DeSo, with the decentralized social blockchain?
Well, let's see. Like this is a tough one, because I agree that this core team and DeSo in general, like they're getting a lot of like emotion towards their way from multiple different directions. And I must say that I don't always like agree with that, like the sentiment behind those, because it's more like I don't know, like maybe we can start off with sort of like BitCloud and how that sort of turned out. Like I think also BitCloud was like a really great showcase of what the DeSo blockchain can do, and it got this kind of lot of negativity around like some very specific things, like the fact that they did this username squatting beforehand, and maybe the problem there was that the coins were trading without people being on the platform. I don't know, but like but just based on that, people sort of dismissed a lot of like the really important principle ideas there, and sort of didn't necessarily see the full picture because of one negative aspect. So I think that was like. And there were things like things to discuss about like decentralization and stuff like that. But at the same time, like the story, as the story goes, it's like DeSo sort of launched a bit accidentally. So like even that is as a founder myself, like it's a lot of pain to like build great stuff and also fail with some aspects in like public. So I think that's like maybe like important to understand that I'm sure like Nader is like a brilliant guy, but even he and the team can fail in multiple ways still. So like if that is sort of the context, the BitCloud context, like I think this rebranding to DeSo was a beautiful thing, and made a lot of sense, because I think that's how layer one should operate, as they're now doing it. And then in terms of like how DeSo has been developing, and how they have been putting out sort of this new kind of features and for developers to use, like I think that's going really nicely. It was maybe a little bit of a lull like by the end of last year because of the Coinbase listing, but sort of that's also understandable. But now like there's this crazy stuff like DAO swap, the group chats, the hypersync, and all the stuff is now coming. And proof of stake, completely new kind of proof of stake. I mean, it's a lot of exciting stuff, and I think the core team is executing fantastically in that sense. And I don't need to sound like like some fanboy here, but I honestly think that. And then if we look at like this kind of other way, like which is maybe the community aspect and like user growth and stuff like that. Like if we start off with user growth, I think it's a bit of a difficult discussion because it's basically applications that bring the user growth. That's it. So to say to, I don't know, Solana or Ethereum that, hey, why there's no user? It's like a bit of a crazy thing to say, because it's ultimately the Uniswaps and Supernovas and applications on the chains that bring the users, and those applications are still yet to come. So it's like I think that's how I look at that. But then definitely in terms of like where this how community who is using DeSo and how it's sort of how they need to be involved in it and how they feel like they have this kind of a great ownership of the whole project. I think there's definitely things that people could do better, but at the same time, I also feel like that's also to some extent like the application level. Like you're always part of some community, like specifically, and we, for example, try to spend a lot of time in that and to really get people in on the sort of mission, and I think that's important. So we can obviously talk about, now I've been very positive, but we can talk about some things that I see negative, but but that's how I honestly see the sort of big picture here.
Yeah. And just before we go on to the other bit, like Rasmus, as you said that, I'm a very visual thinking person, and I had this flash of like everyone screaming, where's everyone at a festival? Like going to a festival like 3 days before it's meant to open. And everyone's saying, but we need people here. It's like, can we get the toilets in first? Can we they can pee on the bush. It's like, oh. There's some of the things as a founder that maybe you haven't thought about as a user.
Precisely, exactly. That's
a tricky one.
That's a good way to put it.
And then also recognizing the community, because that's one thing I was thinking about is, if we want to bring, larger adoption, then like I was mentioning with my communities, well, let's bring whole communities in then and give them reason to be here, rather than trying to, because in a way, the community that we have now is a community of what do you call it? We love living on the edge, right? We love living on the bleeding edge. Everyone who's together right now, which is what I loved about DeSo in the beginning, was all these people like yourself, Alex, and all the others we get to meet, the guys watching the live stream, everyone out there on DeSo. We all share that one thing of wanting to, to test the limits, to go forwards to something new, and we're all ready and willing to feel the pain to get there. But then to grow that community more than the tight community that is, that doesn't seem like a simple marketing exercise, because that use purpose that we're there for, the reason we're there, is not necessarily what others will have tolerance for. And I discovered that myself from bringing on people who I thought would appreciate it, and then realizing, oh yeah, that's right, you don't have the bandwidth to take on something like this that's not in your veins in a sense. So yeah, fantastic. So you were saying, and on the other side of things.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are like things that could be done better. Like, for example, like the NFT market. Like, I think the big reason why it wasn't like hasn't yet been like fully born and taken off was as simple as not having the buy now functionality. Like maybe like if we want to find out mistakes, but like maybe that would be one, because it effectively kills the secondary market if you always pump the price on the primary auction as high as you can. So like, that kind of stuff, and then in terms of like, like communicating what's going on, and sort of keeping people up to date with everything, whether that be developers or community members or whatever. I think that there's definitely something to be said about that. But at the same time, like I think now, like in the past couple of months, like DISO has been doing extremely well on those, and like then like one this negative cycle was this whole DISO identity, and then like the where this was this there was this great Twitter drama about this topic,
Yeah.
and like the way I think about this for example is that like you need to like because DISO is really needs to think about the sort of user experience and how people actually, like normal people actually start using these products and then like get onboarded and find value in them. Like you need to you cannot sacrifice the most important principles, but you need to make maybe sacrifices like somewhere in terms of like offering like a one click wallet creation to the where your sort of seed is stored in Google Drive and things like that. Like it like for like this kind of deep end crypto people, this is like a big no. But then at the same time, these are trade-offs that are sort of needed to make, and most people are willing to do. So like it's a tough one. Like I like the way I look at this kind of like these kind of things is that like you need to start making these difficult trade-offs sometimes in this whole industry in order to like make it advance. Because if we're going to say that like everyone needs a hardware wallet and a MetaMask, and if you use something else like it's like a crime against humanity, then we're not going to get anywhere. So there needs to be this kind of a like intelligent thinking around different trade-offs and how you can make things better without sacrificing the sort of decentralization and ownership and of assets. And it's a tough spot to be in that sense. Like you need to make cool stuff, but then you get a lot of flack just because you try to do
get it
that.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's why I'm really grateful you came on to talk with us, because not only because of what you're doing with Supernovas and everything, but you have your experience in the back end of all of this kind of stuff, and I think it's important that the community gets to hear all sides, as well as, the core team gets to hear all sides, including the community, etc. Because of course it's important to be heard, but at the same time, it's important to also understand, what's going on. And in the work that I do with the Gene Keys, we have these little contemplations, and we say that it's intolerance comes from a lack of understanding, and if you want peace in the world, then you need understanding. And so that's what I love that we do here on Cloud Forum, is just continually bring that conversation to help us understand, what's going on. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So on that note, someone who I love, who is very good at listening and understanding many things, has joined in the live chat. So big shout out to Matreshka. So Matreshka, thanks for joining us, my dear. Good morning. And so they're just throwing a few comments in there. So if you have any questions, Matreshka or Nordian, Ryan Elf, anyone for Rasmus, throw them in there. We'll make sure we ask them. But the last part for me, before I hand you over to Alex, Rasmus, to ask some fun questions and bits and pieces. He always brings in some good twists. The last thing is really, the reason we're doing this live, that finally got us to have this chat together and get on the podcast, is that you are having you're launching the public launch of Supernovas.App on the 12th of March, 9 a.m. CET. So you want to talk a little bit about that? Let us know what's going on there. What's the difference between now, before the launch, and after the launch, that kind of thing?
Yes, that's a great question. So like right now we are still working our weekend with couple features, and what changes on Monday is that these features will come out. So for example, the Ethereum NFT minting will be available then. So then we can with confidence say that we're now a multi-chain marketplace, and that's the starting point, and a couple other things as well. But most importantly, the launch means that these Supernovas DAO coin rewards starts to accumulate for the users of the platform. So we haven't done a token sale yet on the DAO. That is to be expected on May roughly. So a couple of months. But right as of now, there is rewards for creators for creating and selling their work on Supernovas, and for collectors for using Supernovas to collect NFTs. These start to now accumulate at the sort of ICO price. So actually, like the only way to invest to Supernovas ICO is to start creating value on the platform. So that's the only way to start getting it. And we're really excited about. We're thank you, but we're really excited about this because we're really like if you think about like how things should work, like it should work so that the people who create the value for any product or service, they would gain the ownership. And now it actually is like happening. So it's pretty cool. And like there's a lot of stuff that I could talk about this tokenomics and how all the value will go back to the coin, but most importantly, like that's what happens, that creators and collectors start to accumulate these rewards already now with a bit of a head start before the token is on the market. So that would be the big thing. Yeah.
Nice.
And also, by the way, I forgot to mention one important thing. Like we're also like then actually opening up the platform. So right now we have been this kind of a bit of a closed platform because we have wanted to keep the sort of circle small at this point. But now basically anyone can come to Supernovas and mint on or on Monday can start minting there or trading there. And also on that note, like we will be showing all the DSO NFTs on the marketplace and discovery. So it will be like more opening up in that sense. Like we will still obviously have the verification and the verification process, and I think it's going to be like more important than ever going forward, because that's the sort of stamp of approval that this person is not a fraud, which is very rampant in this crypto space. But at the same time, like we want to like build a place that is actually open, and we let the people to decide again. So like there's a wide variety of reasons why someone doesn't want to verify their profile, and they're still like completely legit, and so verification will stay, but it will be sort of a bit of a different nature in the less exclusive in the future in that sense.
Yeah, fantastic. I just love the way your mind works, Rasmus. It's really amazing to hear that kind of thinking. You know, that's contemplating all these moving parts, and at the same time opening to community, recognizing that in the end it's important that it's also led there as well. So now we got a few comments and things. So Alex, you get ready, my friend. I'll just go through these comments and questions from our community here in the chat. So we've got comment from Nordian saying, I agree with Rasmus. Nodes are the way to grow and retain communities. Matreshka, she asked, and will you be able to mint NFTs cross-chain soon for real from Supernovas, which we've just kind of answered there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So get your Ethereum wallets now ready to begin with, and then we pushed really hard to get Solana out for this Monday as well, but it's still gonna be a couple of weeks, but it's coming as well. So
there's another reason to celebrate again in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, every week it's gonna be something like.
So I've got, and Matreska, I'm getting back to that first question, but just on the topic of this while we're here, Ryan Alf has asked, how are you able to bypass the gas fees for minting on Ethereum?
Yes,
Are they the same gas fees, or have you? Yeah.
That's a great question. So we're using this immutable X layer 2. So there they effectively don't have any gas fees, which is great. So the only time you need to pay gas is when you if you want to deploy a smart contract of a collection, or when you want to transfer money to or Ethereum to the immutable X network. And what's cool about the immutable X is that like they first of all have this kind of an open order book model on their marketplace. So when you mint Ethereum NFTs on Supernovas, they are for sale there, but then at the same time they're for sale anywhere that is using immutable X as their Ethereum like platform. So that's really great. And yeah, like it's in terms of like usability and sort of ease of onboarding, it's I think it's far simpler than many other layer 2s, which is like another great aspect of it. And yeah, really great to have the grand old man of the blockchain. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's big Bitcoin, but like one of the great ones also now on the Supernovas.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethereum are doing well out there. Now, Reinhoff has got a couple more. Seeing it's your birthday, Reinhoff, I'm going to squeeze these through as well. Alex, who's probably sitting there going, come on, Mark. Come on, it's my turn. Reinhoff has asked, will the NFTs still be minted automatically on Airwave?
Yes, absolutely. So that's not something we're not willing to, make compromises. So like, absolutely, everything will be stored on RVU. Including the metadata. So yes, definitely. I think this is super important. And like, this is also some like educational thing as well, that like, in order to really have like an NFT that can hold like a really like a great value, I think the only way to do that is to have this decentralized storage. Otherwise, there's always this a kind of a nagging, annoying thing that like, what if it goes away, or what if it disappears all of a sudden? And because you're talking about like the asset, I think the asset aspect is important to understand. Like it is a digital asset, and if I would have like I don't know, some physical asset that like could disappear into the like world, I would be very concerned about it. I would be like
yeah,
is it gonna disappear or not? So I think, yeah, we're really.
You wouldn't want your car disappearing in your garage overnight, would you?
No, that'd be annoying. Yeah, like
rather annoying.
I'd be super pissed. So like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That registration certificate wouldn't be worth much.
Yeah, it's
awesome. And that's one of the beautiful things of these collections, right? Is even down the track, and it might just take time. The team might fall away from the collection, the function might fall away from the collection, but it's still basically a collector's card that is rare in its own way. So it will have its own value. Now, Reinhoff has one more on the NFT side, and then I've got one from Matreska on more of the community side, and then Alex, I promise I'll give it to you. So we've got Reinhoff has said, how much control do you have on the smart contract? So that's on the, the second layer on Ethereum, I assume he means.
Right. So the way it actually works is that right now we're going to start off with only this one-on-one minting. So we have basically deployed our Supernova's own smart contract on the layer 1, and people can then mint their NFTs on this shared collection. And so we have basically like full control of it, obviously, over that, as much as you can have for a smart contract. That is like once it's deployed, you cannot really change things unless you like yeah. So we basically don't have any control. So it's standard smart contract deployed on layer 1, And one important thing to mention about the immutable X NFTs is that they are actually like layer one Ethereum NFTs in the end. Like everything it will be visible on layer one. So it's not a side chain that is completely separate, but it is actually ultimately on the layer one, and it's good to know.
Awesome. That is good discernment. Good point. Absolutely. Especially because I mean, a lot of these things, it's like, you know, it's one thing for developers and NFT artists to understand, but we've got a lot of people out there that could be embracing NFTs, and these are some of the things that they're going to be wondering, you know, amongst it all. All right, so now Matreshka the last question is, Matreshka has asked you, what's your favorite female creators after Michaela? By the way, big shout out to Michaela, the co-founder with Supernovas, or is she co-founder?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Big shout out to Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela definitely my favorite female creator. Let's see, like I think this is like if we're talking about, we need to close the scope a bit. So like
mean question, Matreshka.
Yeah.
Who are some of the ones off the top of your head that you've really enjoyed recently? Maybe that's a nice way of asking it.
Yeah, exactly. But like if we are like solely looking at the NFT space, like I really I'm struggling a bit, because I really trying to remember the name of that one NFT artist that I've been following religiously. Let's see. I to the death of me, I'm blacking out now with that. But like, but I think it's great to great to admit if you cannot now, like I cannot I'm blacking out.
No, Rasmus, whenever I get asked those questions, it's, you know, like they say, tag your 3 favorite creators. I can't, like, my whole body is like, there's a people pleaser in me that goes, but if I say that, what about all the others? You know, it's like, they're all my favorites. I love them all.
No,
so I think Matreshka's she said, I'm sorry, she just wants you to name some more female creators. So I mean, Matreshka, you're definitely one of my favorites.
Likewise, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic out there, and Matreshka said, it's okay, you can get back to us. Meredith Marson, I think you were thinking. Was it Meredith? I know Meredith is also one of my favorite female creators.
Yes, well, definitely. And Meredith, we've been working with her now on the Solana piece. So I think there's going to be a lot of good, cool MetaSense coming soon on that. But yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to watching how the Metazens make the most of your platform and really start using that, because I think that's going to be a great kind of use case for where I'm thinking of bringing the community through. They have so many things that I really resonated with. And for those that are wondering what we're talking about, we have an episode with Meredith Marson, who came on from New Zealand and was on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago. It was a fantastic episode. So I'll chuck that at the end of this. When you finish watching with us, then on the replay, we'll chuck that one on so you can check that out. Awesome, Matreshka. Thank you, Ryan Elf, and everyone for those questions and things. Now, we've used a lot of your time, Rasmus. Thank you so much for being here today and making all this time for us, because you're full of information. I'm going to hand you over now to Alex, who's got some questions for you, and then we'll just have a few moments at the end.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. Guys, you've covered so many exciting topics that I'm willing to talk about as well. But first of all, I need to say that your mind, Rasmus, is a chest of treasure. We need this as a common good for everyone. So I really hope you can do some sort of lecture on tokens, because there are a lot of in your mind that you can share with people, and it's going to be available. That would be great if it can be made in the form of event with some sort of university where students can hear it in online lecture, something like this. And maybe we'll try to reach out to some universities as CloudForum to make this event. We'll see. If you'll join, of course, if you'll agree.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Definitely. And we're going to be starting to put like a lot of content about different things on Supernovas. So please give us a follow, and you're going to stay up to date. Yeah.
Awesome. One more thing that I would like to say before I start with my question is, you've explained a lot of technical stuff about blockchain, how it's going to work with the immutable X, with Ethereum, then it's going to be with Solana. And I would really appreciate if there would be some sort of flyers explaining step by step what we should do in order to create NFTs on different blockchains and how it's going to work together. That would be an awesome asset, I believe. Man, I saw your bio and background, and it's obvious that you are the man with great ambitions and more than sufficient experience to realize them in a full way. So I've got an important question for you. Are you ready to beat OpenSea in next 2-3 years?
Oh, listen, I think our ambitions are far bigger than being the OpenSea, but I definitely would like to think so. Like I think we have the setup, and we have the sort of way to get there, but ultimately it comes down how well we can actually execute on it, and it's gonna be super difficult, but definitely I'd like to be there in a couple of years. But at the same time, like I need to also reserve that, like, this building like marketplaces and like social networks, it's like it's a long game. So like me and Mikaela, we're committed to do this for the next 10 years or so, like in order to like make it work, because that's like, after, like, no matter how well you do things and no matter how well you execute, it's ultimately like most of any value really is like 5 years out. So like that's and OpenSea is obviously they have been in the game for real pioneers, and I have massive respect for them for jumping on this in when they started in a couple years ago. So yeah, we'll definitely want to be there, but it's a long game, and it's going to take a while.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. And the most important is the spirit. We all know that there are going to be a lot of troubles and a lot of mistakes, but the main thing is to keep your spirit straight and forward. So I'm really glad to hear it from you, man. And we are going to be here helping you by doing podcasts and other media activities for you guys.
Much appreciated. Yes.
Man, what I would like to stress is that when I found out Supernovas, I realized that Supernovas has got the most beautiful user interface and user experience on this so far, in my humble opinion. And it was in that way since the day one. What's the secret for it? How did you manage to achieve this result, and who's done it for you?
Oh, that's a big compliment. And so the way this worked is basically that I haven't done any UX or UI designs before, but then we didn't have a designer, and our developer wasn't really a designer either, so we just started to do it ourselves. And I appreciate your positive sentiment there, but when we went out, we were like embarrassed about it. It was like initially it was super bad. Now it starts to be on a level where it's actually looking really nice, and I start to agree with you. But it's like but more importantly, like I like just something looking nice. Like we try to really make every single flow and like interaction ultimately like super smooth and intuitive. Like I think that's the important piece. But and if it's beautiful, like well beauty is of course also important. Like if there's no beauty, like what's the point? So that needs to be there. But thank you. I'm taking this to heart now. So
yeah, I'm completely honest with you about it, because I remember it. As far as I remember, it was in July when you announced Supernovas,
Yeah.
and I just checked the form. So if you wanted to join to Supernovas as an artist, you had to complete the form, and then you go to the website, so on and so forth. So when I saw this, I was pretty shocked. There wasn't much apps apart from BitCloud, and your app was one of the best in terms of visual representing visual screens and user interfaces.
Good.
Let's talk about another hot topic on DSO, and I really wanted to explore it with you. Let's talk about marketing. What's your vision about it for Supernovas?
Like the way, yeah, that's a good question. Like marketing. So we have the benefit of this like having this DAO set up, and in the near future a DAO token which has like a real value in it. So we are so a big piece of that, big piece of our marketing will be to actually like just to create awareness of all the different things that we have tied to that setup. So for example, we have a quite hefty 5% referral like a budget in the tokenomics. So like people who are doing referrals can get a like 5% of the whole thing, like ultimately. Like obviously it's going to hopefully last for quite some time, but like it's still very significant. And then there are things like I said, like the rewards I was talking about earlier for creators and collectors, and then we're also doing an airdrop for all Ethereum, Solana, and DSO chains. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I think a lot of it is going to be like creating this awareness about these different aspects, and that's I think the best possible marketing, because like that's how you like show that okay, like you gain this value by joining. But then at the same time, like how like outside of that, I think it's going to be, we're going to be creating a lot of like a content. So it's not like both like educational and just cool content. I think that's going to be important. And also like I come from this Uber as my background. So we're also going to be doing a lot of light and kind of heavy duty business development towards creators, and really like understanding like what they want to see, and try to get some great people on the platform. And we obviously have already done that to some extent, but now that we're sort of out and about, then we can really pick up on that. One exciting thing is that there's not going to be one historical first coming now after the launch on Supernovas. So things like that will be coming a lot more. But yeah, maybe I stop there now. But yeah, a lot of stuff on marketing.
Yeah, I know this is quite a tricky question, because it's super early to talk about marketing for you, because it's just a pre-seed round, and my question is more about for seed round, when you're going to have more money for your goals and marketing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're started or have started already to pitch on investors, and the way the sort of token set will work is that there's not going to be like a separate or like privileges that like you get as a VC or angel investor. So so you guys and everyone else are on the sort of same same access level. So anyone can invest to it, which I think is super important. And yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah, man. The thing that you are doing, even with fundraising efforts, is amazing. It's you being on the bleeding edge of technologies, because now it's not just about getting money from VCs in exchange for the equity. It's all about this coin distribution for investors and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
This is what you're exploring as well. It's kind of innovation and being in the front line for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for answering this question. And as you mentioned, you are going to focus your marketing on content creation. And are you going to use YouTube or TikTok or something like this, or you're going just to post it on your Supernovas platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're going to start putting a lot of stuff on this traditional channels. So like in terms of NFTs, like obviously Twitter is like that's the most important one, and that's where we're gonna put the focus. But at the same time, like I think YouTube and TikTok are still like a bit of a maybe underexplored in this sense that it's like there's not that much like great NFT / crypto content. So you'll definitely yeah see us there as well.
Awesome, man. I'm really glad to hear it. So you've mentioned about content and that there are going to be a huge number of NFTs coming from Ethereum blockchain, DeSo blockchain, and then from Solana blockchain. In order to make it effective and attractive, I believe you have some sort of discovery content strategy for users. Do you have something in mind for it?
Yes, that's a great question. So like obviously like we're going to have this kind of a on Monday there's kind of a nice discovery page, and like you can sort of have this kind of a basics of discovery through that, as well as the sort of feeds which act also as a discovery stuff. But like obviously this is just the beginning. Like the way I see it is that we have this huge like an asset which are essentially the likes, diamonds, and comments and reposts, and how to use that data that is there on the blockchain to start making like a recommendation engines for NFTs or for creators to follow or things like that. And I think that those are going to be super important, like how that we're going to be working on, like how to, because if you think about the regular NFT marketplace, they might have a like, but that you can give, but that's it. So that's a very low signal compared to our setup, and that's a big piece of why we have done it in the first place, so that we can actually start doing like a really good recommendations, and like maybe to mention of that also, like this diamond is like, if you think about diamonds as a sort of like a signal, at least when I give like a diamond, like I really like that stuff, or like I really want to like you know, like appreciate it. So like that's a signal that doesn't like mostly exist, because it's so difficult to like tip people in, like with the credit card system. You're going to be doing that like forever. Yeah, this is still early, but like this is what we want to go towards, like how to use all of this data for these different NFTs, and make a like recommend good stuff to people that they want to actually see. And maybe the key there is also that the goal is not to like build some black box stuff that that people are used to now, but like instead like we're obviously going to be open sourced fully in the future, and including this recommendation stuff. So that's how we see it. Yeah.
Man, you've covered it pretty well, and you said about Diamond as mechanism for discovering some good content that get some traction from users and so on and so forth. This is exactly what OpenSea is doing. I mean, in terms of it provides the analytics of how fast the NFT is selling, flipping, and so on and so forth. and based on that, the users choose which NFT to buy. And one thing that that is unexplored right now is to find NFTs via the quality of NFT ecosystem. So usually, if you go to OpenSea, to check the ecosystem, you go to Discord page, Discord link, and then to Discord channel of the project. But NFT ecosystem, I'm just giving you the idea that I have in my mind. So if it can be made a page where you can put some information about your NFT ecosystem, like are you going to have a DAO? How often are you gonna issue new NFTs? Are you going to make some joint venture for merge or something like this? So these DAO participants could participate in it, and so on and so forth. It's just an idea that this can be a discovery feature as well. So people can just filter in different features of NFT ecosystem and find those that have, for example, DAO feature, I don't know, and other stuff. Community.
Yeah. Absolutely, definitely. I think that's a great idea, and yeah, we have. Obviously, I'm very aligned with you there. Like it's like that's like a yeah, really the direction that we're going as well. And by the way, like at this point, like I need to stop and go back for a second, because like I was talking about Monica Rizzoli like earlier, but I don't know like why I blanked out, but I just wanted to bring that up. She's been like instrumental to so helping Supernovas in like in the early days, and like a really great person. So just wanted to give her the shout out. But yeah, let's go on to the next.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Mikhail. So it was a promotion of my idea. Thank you for listening to it and take it and giving me time for it. And let's relax and let's step aside from the PISO, from NFTs and so on and so forth. Let's talk about you. You've got great experience in business, IT, and consulting. And one thing that I was exploring in the recent days is the mentorship. Did you have a mentor? What do you think about it?
A mentor?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had like a formal mentor ever. I don't have right now either. Here's what I think. I think in terms of education, education and like learning and growing as a person, like I think it's important that everyone like first and foremost takes the responsibility of them by themselves. So I really think that mentors and can bring like a lot of value, and it's a fantastic thing. But like I personally have never like found like this kind of like like pull towards that, because I believe that like anyone can learn pretty much anything if they just want to, especially in this day and age. And like then it's just a matter of degree how much you really want it. That's that's maybe my best answer for not having a mentor I can give you.
Yeah, let's take a look at this from the other side. Are you willing to become a mentor for someone?
Well, listen, I definitely, but like at the same time, in order for me to like do that like confidently, like I would really need to. I think that's like obviously I would, but then it's a high bar actually, in my opinion, to say that you are mentoring someone, like like that. It's like we're talking about school.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean that if there will be a guy who's gonna approach you and ask you for that. So
yeah, I think it
kind of situation.
Yeah, so I think it would be depending on the sort of like if I like if I really like care about the future that this person is like trying to achieve, and so like then I would definitely I like to do that. It would be great. But yeah, it's interesting.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this. What countries would you want to live if it wouldn't be a Finland? What country would you want to live if it wouldn't be a Finland?
Well, I've lived in Germany, in Berlin, and I really like that the city there. But maybe I must say, like my favorite city is probably Amsterdam. It's a beautiful place, and like beautiful people. So I think that's probably where I would like to live. It's but then again, like you need something warm as well. So I don't know. I mean, Portugal, Lisbon would be probably cool if you think about Europe. Or let's okay, I'll leave it at that. Those two. I think those are cool.
Awesome. Shout out to Martin Van Helen and the Edo Colerit from Netherlands, and shout out to Jesus from Portugal. You might have the new guest in your home soon. Now, what's the most expensive thing you've ever bought with crypto?
Well, listen, let's think about it. So, I mean, I've been pouring like crypto to this Supernovas over the last year, to some extent. So I'd say Supernovas is the most expensive so far. There's a lot of stuff that goes just like disappears that no one knows about when you're doing something like this. So I think that's definitely one. But I haven't bought anything cool with crypto. I'm a bit boring in that way. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it was a tricky question, and you mastered in answering it.
Yeah. You're really holding me in a difficult spot here, so I like it. Let's continue.
Okay, I've got 3 more questions for you. Do you like sauna?
You know what? Like everyone in Finland says that they do, but I don't like it. Like I think it's not for me. But like I think it's great. There's a great health benefits and so forth. But no for me. I don't like the warmth. Like no. Sorry.
It seems you're more a fan of skiing, maybe.
Oh, okay. Now you're touching the right subject. Yes, indeed. So I used to do alpine skiing on like a semi-professional level when I was still a young boy. But yeah. So that's definitely what I like more. So the cold rather than the warm. Yeah.
And what drink do you like? What beverage do you like to drink after a good skiing?
Well, listen, I think I need to go with hot chocolate with some with a little something in there. Like that's how you do it. So that's the classic.
Absolutely, man. Totally support on this. Did you watch Super Pumped series?
I haven't, but I have. I've been talking with some people at Uber that at least in their opinion, it's an extremely poor picture of what actually went down and what was going on. But I don't know. Like that's how it's always is. But I haven't seen any episodes myself.
For those who doesn't know, Super Pumped is a new TV series on Showtime featuring the Uber, the creation, the establishment of the Uber story. So I've got the last question for you, man. What's the hardest moment for you for the whole period working on DISO, and what's the most exciting moment?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Like let's start off with the hardest one. Like I think I think the hardest moment was definitely when we were me and Mikalo both had like a very like comfortable, or not comfortable, but like very stable and very like a great jobs. And I think the tough moment was like when we decided to quit on those, to go full time on sort of Supernovas, and we didn't really necessarily have really or we didn't see the sort of path on with like fundraising and stuff like that for a while. So that definitely always is like really rough. And also like the best moment is maybe like I think I think the best moment is that when we now started to, in general, like we started to get this like a real team together for the first time, that we had actually people like who are developing product and thinking about so it wasn't just like myself and Mikaela, for example, who were doing stuff, but like really started to have this kind of a spirit that like let's go and let's start doing this. So I think that's definitely the favorite moment. But I hope that the favorite moments and the worst moments are still yet to come. So like it depends like a bit like which day you ask me that question, because this is like this is very very schizophrenic, this kind of startup stuff. Like like someday you feel like you have it all figured out and you just like just go for it, and then some days it's like like I don't know, like what's the point of anything? Like what's like why are we even doing this? Like it's crazy. Like obviously the like the majority is that we all believe what we're doing and so forth. But like there's like it's yeah. But you guys probably know it. It's a lot of up and down movement you need to get used to. So yeah.
Yeah, this is the lifestyle of real entrepreneur, and like Nordian said, this is the way for us.
Absolutely, exactly. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like it's the like that's how you keep life interesting, and you meet interesting people, and get to work on some like interesting problems. Like it's worth like the hair loss and stuff like that. So it's like yeah, listen, I'm getting there as well. Like you don't see it now, but yeah. So yeah, definitely worth it.
Awesome, man. I know you've been speaking for I don't know 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I know how exhausting it is, and you're doing pretty well. You are still energetic, and thank you so much for your answers, for your willingness to be open and honest with us. My both hands are raised right now for you, and you definitely deserve my grateful bow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. And thank you, Mark. Mark also. Like really appreciate.
If you have 5 more minutes, I believe there are some questions in chat, maybe, or comments. I don't know. Mark will lead us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex, for that. They've been bantering away and responding in there. So we've got a few bits and pieces you can go check out in the live chat that'll go public with it. But just wanted to do a shout out to everyone tuning in live. You all know how much we love you and how important it is for the support, because it's one of those things, Rasmus, as you know, with so many things we start up. Alex started Cloudforum at the beginning in, was it July last year? Yeah. June, before that wasn't out. Anyway, whenever it was. And, you continue putting out things, and sometimes you don't hear comments, you don't see much. But then someone turns up and says, I've been watching all your stuff. And, and you just don't know. Like you say, it's up and down. You don't know, but you love what you do and you keep doing it. So thank you, everyone who turned up live. And to those watching the replay, throw a comment underneath. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and share this out and tune in, because we're going to have more and more guests coming. And before we close off, Rasmus, do you have any last words you'd like to share with the growing creator community out there? that are super excited for what's to come?
Yes, absolutely. Please, come join us on Monday, and let's build together like our own platform. And this is just not like some like marketing speak from me, but that's the reality that starts on Monday. And invite your friends also, and yeah, like there's a lot of really cool stuff coming over the next month or two. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you and what I also like encourage everyone to do, like if you don't like something, what we do or how we do things, like we always want to have a discussion about those and figure out how we do things better. That has been so far one of the most important things that we have, I think, in my opinion, done right, that we have actually understood what people want. And yeah, so and also like I like to say that I just gotta say that let's please join us, and let's make something great together. So I think that's a good way to end it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're on board, my friend, and it's loving seeing what you're doing. I know so much of the community out there is on board. Ryan Elf has just said, we love Cloudforum. Thanks, Ryan Elf. We love you. You've been here at so many of our live events. Really appreciate it. And also said, join the Supernovas Discord. So everyone, get out there. If you're watching this, join the Discord. Get in. See what's going on, and then come into the new platform as it starts taking its shape and help build it. Right? Like this is that thing, Rasmus. So many people are used to this old way of you pay for something and you get a product and that's it. You don't get anything else from it. Mm-hmm. Whereas we're moving into this new world where it's like, no, you're part of this now. We're all part of this, which means it's up to each of us. If you don't like something, then initiate communication with the developers and the people so that they know. Because if no one says anything, then it just becomes this kind of Chinese whispers. Oh, I'm probably not allowed to say that anymore. Whispers and things, it shows my age with those comments. But, it just becomes one of those things where people talk, behind the scenes, and the people trying to make the product don't realize what they're actually after. So please do, everyone, step up and become part of this, like co-create it. And Rasmus, you said yourself that right now, the only way that you can start investing and getting invested in supernovas, not even the richest can buy in right now. So the only way you can do that is by jumping in on an even playing field and start creating NFTs and taking part in all those awesome initiatives that Supernovas have.
Precisely. That's
Awesome.
That's it.
Fantastic. All right, Rasmus. Well, I think as with so many that are in this world, I could talk to you for hours on end, but I'm sure we'll have many opportunities in the future. And look forward to when we all get to celebrate what comes next. So as Alex said, we're here to support anything you need, anything you want to come in and share with the community. We're there. We can throw live events, come on the podcast, and all the rest. And all the best for Monday. I know we'll be watching.
Hey,
Rasmus,
thank you very much.
You are awesome. You are awesome.
I'll right back at you. Right back at you both. So thanks a lot for having me, and it was a really great talk, and let's definitely connect again. So really good stuff.
Excellent. All right, beautiful. We're getting a lot of love and a lot of thank yous for all the work you're doing from Matreshka and Ryan Elf and all the others sending their thanks. So know you're appreciated, and thanks everyone for joining. Please do make sure you like and subscribe to Cloudforum and Supernovas on all your platforms wherever you can find us. YouTube, turn the notifications on, because we will be doing live streams for special events like this, but we also have a podcast, Who's Got Clout, that comes out every week, and love to have you on that more officially, Rasmus, when that time comes. Maybe in next season we can have a look at where things have gone from there. All right, with that, lots of love. We'll see you.